Welcome everyone to recognizing and engaging members with a rewards program called CLAMS. I'm Dr. Kella Price, your District 2 Vice President, and Lisa Weber-Willie will be joining us shortly from Charisma Charter Chapter, who is the model for our CLAMS program. Our agenda tonight, we're going to talk about the importance of member recognition, exploring successful rewards program strategies, real-life success stories, tips for sustaining long-term engagement with a program, some open discussion and networking, and how to set up your Google Forms for tracking and managing the program. So we're going to start with introduction so we understand where everyone's coming from and give you a chance to do a little bit of networking. So we will start with Grace.
Hello, I'm Grace Perry. I am a member of the Bryan College Station chapter. And I think we've got like 34 members. And I've not been in that chapter that long, so I do know that there is a monthly reward where everybody that has taken an Apex course receives the name is drawn and they receive a gift card. But other than that, I'm not sure of anything else.
Well, that's a good start for a rewards program, rewarding something that you want them to do, like take Apex. All right, Stacy Arnold.
We do yearly recognition for perfect attendance. So if they attend all the meetings for the year, or if they miss a meeting and make it up by coming like to our board meeting, then they get a certificate for that. And then the, Woman of the Year and things like that. We've in the past done incentives for bringing guests. So like if you brought a guest, you got your name entered in a drawing, and we did it for a quarter, and then we gave away a gift basket. But we don't have a lot of ongoing recognition for those things.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea, what you described. All right, Denise.
Yes, I'm with the VP in Houston, Victoria, Texas, Victoria Professional Express Network. We're at 51 members right now. I was the past president this last year. So this year I'm the VP of membership. Last year I had recognition for course Apex courses. We did it quarterly. For every quarter we did a drawing for every one they did. They got their name put in. We haven't done the one with perfect attendance. I think they're doing that this year. And then of course we did for membership, everybody that when they would recruit a new member, I put them in for a $100 gift card, but these membership drives that year. So that was some of the, besides the Woman of the Year and the other recognitions that we do.
Okay, super. All right. Rachel.
Hello. I'm trying to come on camera right quick. Hello, everyone. So yes, we do have a recognition program outside of the recognitions for national. We do offer an incentive on an annual basis at our annual award ceremony for different levels of things that we want our members to be able to engage in our 4 tenets. Also, along with, we've come up with a new incentive for Apex, since that is a new national recognition. And our members seem to really, really be engaged and excited about that. And also for perfect attendance. And then some little things along on a monthly basis to build excitement, not necessarily the same thing every month, but hitting on different topics to bring some incentives with small gifts. Thanks. Good to see everyone.
Thank you. Natasha.
Sorry I was late. Um,
No worries.
so we're rebuilding. So we don't have any besides our normal Woman of the Year, Woman of Top 10 Protege. We do Woman of Excellence, which is a lifetime achievement for one of for FHPW. But otherwise, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm the president of Fort Bend chapter in Houston. Let me go back. And we don't do. We have about 9 members, but only 5 of us come and actually are engaged and active in our group, and we don't have any recognition. So that's one thing I'm trying to change before I have to hand this league over to someone else's hands next year.
Yes. And we're going to hear about the CLAMS program. So I'm not going to ask Lisa to describe the recognition at Charisma because she's going to get all into that shortly. Again, I sent everyone the Word document in the chat earlier. If you don't see it, you can let me know. Right. So looking at member recognition, we want to incorporate this into our operational practices for our leagues for a number of reasons. Number one, you're going to have increased member engagement and satisfaction because members who are recognized for their contributions feel good about themselves and what they're doing and the time that they're spending in the ABWA league. Members who are engaged in doing activities are more likely to re-enroll and continue their membership because they have that enhanced sense of belonging and community, that they're a part of the larger organization. So you have improved retention of your members. When you have new members, this is a great way to get them engaged and reward them for the behaviors that you want to see. Finally, when we recognize our members, we have a positive impact on the association's reputation and credibility because it makes people feel good about the things in our mission statement, our 4 tenets, and the priorities we have as a league, because our recognition program should align with things that we want our members to do to get the most out of their membership, to support and utilize all of the 4 tenets of our mission statement. So there's a number of ways to recognize members, and we heard about some of these already when you all were introducing each other. The first step is to make sure we're utilizing the opportunities that ABWA has for our members at the national level in terms of the framework for recognition. So we already have our awards and honors for outstanding contributions through the Top 10 Women of the Year and Protege. Some of you are members of the Federation of Houston Professional Women. And so as Natasha mentioned, your leagues also have the Women of Excellence Award in there. There can also be other awards for a variety of different things. Probably the most common is perfect attendance, rewarding people for consistent behaviors. We can also give certificates of achievement or participation for completing specific activities. We get our certificates from Apex, and I encourage you to get your members to print those out, post those on social media for recognition. When I see those, I always comment, but also recognizing them at the meetings. A number of you are encouraging additional participation in terms of Apex by doing quarterly drawings or other recognition, and I think that is great. You can also have other recognition pieces for other things. Some of the leagues do a member of the month, highlighting a member for their contributions. You can do other fun awards. If you do any special awards at your year-end celebration that we didn't talk about, feel free to drop those in the chat for ideas. Public acknowledgement is always great when we recognize members. We don't always have to give them a certificate or a tangible thing. Sometimes just a thank you or some sort of appreciation is enough to recognize that member. You can publicly acknowledge them at meetings. You can highlight them in the newsletter. If the member is uncomfortable with public acknowledgement in a private way can also be just as valuable or even more valuable for that more private individual by sending them a handwritten thank you card or note to their home, giving them a personal phone call, sending them a little coffee gift card as a thank you. Those are ways that you can privately recognize your members. You can also recognize members by giving them leadership opportunities and supporting their growth and development. These could be any number of things, from our signing them up and getting them engaged with our leadership development cohort here in District 2, encouraging them to get involved in special projects within the district, working with an ambassador as a mentor, giving them a chair position or helping them lead an event to help with their growth. These are all different ways that you can recognize them for their contribution by giving them opportunities. And finally, we could have an incentive program, and the CLAMS program specifically awards points, and you can cash those in for awards at the end of the year. So it's designed to be a year-long incentive or motivational tool.
Can I add just one little comment to that?
Yes, absolutely, Lisa. Chime in anytime.
Just keep in mind that we included in our annual budget for these awards.
Yes, and that is important. Some of the awards that we provide or we can offer, whether it's those kudos or those thank yous, they don't have to cost money. But some of these programs, if you're giving away gift cards or incentives, you do have to budget for those. So strategies for effective member recognition. We want to regularly celebrate member achievements and milestones. I'll use charisma as an example. So the CLAMS program, they do the awards at the end of the year. However, the president still recognized people for Apex Awards, for example, throughout the year. So you're still, there's still benchmarks along the way that you can provide for your members if they are moving in the right direction. Sometimes we need to tailor recognition efforts to match preferences. So if there's an option of a certain gift, or you could give them 2 options. With a CLAMS, they have different things that they can cash their CLAMS in for. But let's say you have gift cards and you're rewarding individuals with $5 gift cards. Would you like a Starbucks or an Amazon gift card? So you're giving something of value to the individual by giving them a choice or a preference. Utilizing multiple channels for recognition. You can recognize members on social media, giving them a shout out, newsletters, recognize them at events. And depending on what the recognition is, maybe you recognize on more than one platform as well. And of course, we always want to ensure transparency and fairness in the recognition process. If it's an award that you're providing, who is selecting the award? What are the criteria? Make sure it's clear cut so that everyone understands what needs to happen to qualify for that award. Once we decide what we want to recognize, we can create this membership recognition framework by defining the criteria for different levels of recognition. For things like top 10, ABWA National provides us those criteria, but your league has the ability to shape the criteria somewhat for the Woman of the Year, the Protege, and some of your other special awards. For example, someone mentioned with perfect attendance, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect attendance at the regular monthly meetings. It can also be board meeting attendance. So clearly outlining the framework and what the criteria for the recognition is. Establish a clear process for nomination and evaluation of the members, and involve members in the recognition process, like getting member committees involved, having a chair to help execute the program. If you're the recognition chair, perhaps you have a team of individuals to help reach out to your members and encourage them to participate in the process. We want projects and programs not to be like a flavor of the month, that sometimes it's good to have short-term things, but ideally if we set up an effective program, it can be long-term. Maybe we tweak it and change the rewards, but we want to have a long-term engagement, so it's not just a flavor of the month. Because again, sometimes it takes a while for people to catch on to what the program is, and if you're always changing the program, you're going to lose some of the members along the way in the process. So we want to make sure that any rewards and recognition aligns with the ABWA's mission and goals. You want to have clear program guidelines, continuous evaluation, communication about it throughout the year. Again, communicating in the newsletter, communicating at your monthly programs, getting the president to talk about it. Because if it's something that gets talked about and repeated over and over, just like when you have employees, they are going to focus on what you perceive your focus is and what you think is important. So if it's important to the president and they're talking about it every month, it's going to become important to the members. Diverse recognition options. I talked to you a little bit about that already, giving options, figuring out how you want to shape it to appeal to your audience. Inclusion of member input, making sure people feel like they're a part of the process and that we're not just recognizing the people that do everything. We also want to recognize members that are making an effort. Maybe they don't do every Apex class, but they've improved their performance by taking 3 Apex classes this year. Figuring out how you can make it inclusionary, so not just your best performing members get rewarded. Again, integrating with your regular monthly activities, finding ways to make the recognition process part of your league culture. Having leadership support and involvement is one of the best ways to do that. Getting the president to talk about it, getting members engaged in the process. The board is behind the program and encouraging people, and really leads by example. If the president tells the league and the board says, oh, it's important to take Apex courses, but they haven't taken any this year, it's not congruent. It's not sending the right message. So leading by example and doing the things that you say are important and modeling the behavior for your members. I encourage a recognition committee or task force because many hands make light work. And again, this is a way to get people engaged in the process. Engaged members are members who renew and members who make the organization great. We want to have a measurable impact and ways to report our results and celebrate those successes in your league. And Lisa, when at the end of the year, they did a presentation, and I'll let her talk about that shortly. Recognition beyond just achievements, recognizing people again for effort. use of technology when available to make the process easier, providing training and education. Someone asked before I started the recording, how do you get the buy-in of seasoned members who aren't technologically savvy? And it is an opportunity for training. It's an opportunity to share how to use the tools. It's an opportunity for you to pair people up with a mentor to help them learn the technology. And then celebrating those milestones, maybe celebrating recognition and how people are doing quarterly, or having some sort of tally board so people can see how they're doing along the way. Do we have any questions so far?
I do have a comment on what you just said.
Yes.
If you have some folks in your group that are just not comfortable with getting on the internet to put these points in, at the beginning of the fiscal year, I print out an Excel spreadsheet that has all the categories and just let them track it on paper. And then whether it's intermittent points or the end of the year, then we help them get them put in. So if they're really not comfortable, it gives those folks an option.
Great, thank you. All right, so if you don't have any questions on the framework of recognition, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa Weber-Willie from Charisma. They are one of the leagues in ABWA that does a recognition program. And because they're in my district, that's why I asked them to present their program. There are some other leagues that do a similar program. And so you don't have to follow this exact framework. This is just to give you ideas and give you the tools so that you can shape and design this program and recreate it in your league as you see fit. So some of the things that she talks about, and maybe some of the categories, are not things that you want to include in your program, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be one size fits all, but it will give you the ideas and the tools to execute the program. So I'm going to turn it over to her. You should have screen sharing.
Okay, let me know. You guys should be able to see it now. Okay, so like Kella said, I'll show you in a minute how you can make it customized to your needs and your name. If you're familiar with Google at all, you probably have a Google account, a Gmail, and that's really all you need to be able to do this. And I'm going to set this up for the next calendar year. In like a matter of 10 minutes, I'll have it ready for next year. But the front work was a little more because I did a custom header, and I can show you how to do that. And in fact, if you have folks that want to do this and they need some technology assistance doing it, we can do a Zoom and everybody create theirs at the same time and walk you through step by step. So what I did is I just made a copy of my live form to use for demos. And obviously you have at the beginning, on the first page, you have a place where you can put any information you want to. And I chose to put instructions. Not that everybody reads them. But one key to this, it's a free program. It's just Google Forms. So keep in mind that it's not super smart because I didn't spend money to write software for this. I'm using existing software. So first, I'm going to take you through how someone would put in, like if they were claiming points. I'm going to take you through that first. And then I'm going to take you and show you what happens with the information that your members are inputting. and how you can see the tracking. And then after that, anybody that's interested, I can show you how easy it is to modify and make it your own. So, and please say something if I go too fast, or if you want me to explain in more detail, let me know. So if you look at the bottom, can you guys see my pointer when I'm doing this, moving it? Okay. So notice that there are 3 pages. The first page is just getting them to put their name in. So I'm gonna, let's see, give me a fake name. I already have Superwoman, Mickey Mouse. I need another name. Give me a name.
How about Minnie Mouse?
I will do Minnie Mouse. So this would be Minnie Mouse putting into the form. Now keep in mind, again, free form. So it's really important that members put in their name the same way every time, or you may have to manually go in and change their name on the raw data, but deal with that when it comes to it, right? So here's Minnie Mouse. Minnie Mouse has done her share for the month. And so she's going to choose, and notice at the top, I put a date. And so this will soon be changing to August 23 to July 2024. So I have set this up where they choose the month that they want to put points in. So 1 month at a time. And we are in, what is this? This is August. So let's look at August. And let's say, now that we're in August, Minnie went to her chapter meeting, so she will click that box. And Minnie also attended the board meeting, so she will click that box. And anything else that she did, and we have like 21 categories. Yes, 21 categories. And again, you can make these say whatever you want. You just type it in what you want it to say. You can add more, take some off. All I did was create the, if you will, a skeleton that you can modify. I did leave a free form place for people to put comments, whether it's, you know, they just want to give me comments to pass on. Maybe they put in something that they're afraid they won't get approved for. So I left an open-ended one here. For example, we had an emergency meeting for our chapter to do a voting. And so I had several members that didn't want to lose points for that emergency meeting by saying, well, you already put in a monthly meeting. Well, this was where they could put extra information to let me know that it was an emergency meeting. And is anyone interested in the categories that we have?
I like them. This is Rachel.
They're pretty self-explanatory.
So
Okay.
the each category doesn't necessarily receive the same amount of points. The points structure isn't listed on here. I think it's on the other form that I put in the chat.
Okay. So once this gets submitted, I'll be showing you that the member can look to see how many points they received for what they just entered. So if you guys just want to look at these, I thought I would put them up on the screen. Personally, there's a couple of them that are not very clear. So, I mean, if I was doing it, I would change the wording, but I'm not clear enough to even change the wording. So, and I'm sure the members feel the same way sometimes. So it's a good board member conversation. And then here's the last set. And y'all were talking about perfect attendance. And at the end, where is it? Perfect attendance. I believe it's 100 points, which is pretty good. Oh, by the way, I just tallied up the total points for charisma for the year. And our members entered just over 21,000 points of CLAMS. So that's a lot of participation. And there's probably people that didn't even claim their clams, but I think that's pretty significant to know that people are interested in getting these rewards. So if you wanted to put in something here, you can say, this is my explanation, or whatever you want to say. All right, notice at the bottom, this is the first month that Minnie Mouse is putting in. This is page 2 of 3. Sorry, I've been talking all day in the classroom. So I'm going to click next page. If for some reason they wanted to go back and change their name because they forgot who they were, they can. And then when they move forward, oh my, didn't save it. Well, oh yeah, I did. My comments are even saved at the bottom. Good, it did save it. So I'm going to go to the next one. This is another page, just like the second page. So I give our members the ability to put in 2 months at a time for a couple of reasons. One is maybe they want to do 2 months at a time. The other is sometimes they bring more than one guest. Maybe they have more than one Apex course. Maybe they visited more than one league or one outing. So it just gives them a little bit of what is the word I'm looking for? Convenience to go ahead and put another month in the same submission. So, but it's not required. If they only have points on the first page, it's not a problem. They just scroll down to the bottom and go ahead and submit. So I'm not putting anything in on this page. I'm just going to click submit. When this happens, this is what they will see. And I actually have information here at the end, as well as I had similar information on the first page. So I give them information if they're confused or they had a problem. Again, they will have my contact information. They can click on view score. I'm going to do this. This is where they're going to see how many points they got. So you kind of have to ignore this end number. That is the total potential points. So it doesn't apply. What you're looking for is how many points were earned for this member with this submission. So this one got 50 points. And let's see how she got the points. If we scroll down, there were 25 points for attending a meeting, 25 points for a board meeting. I thought I put in Apex, but I guess not. But you can see the right side of the slash is how many points each one is worth. So like sponsor a new member, that's 100 points.
And bringing a guest is 50 points. So
Right.
you can weight the activities to the things that are more challenging, get more points, or things that you really want to drive people to complete are worth more. Rochelle has her hand up. Do you have a question, Rochelle?
I do. So the member, when they view the number of points they're at now, are they able to go back in without entering their updates and view their points? So say if I forget where I am and I just kind of want to see, am I able to do that?
I had the same thing with our members, especially when they first started using this form. They were like, oh, I forgot where I left off. Well, unfortunately, because this is free and the way that I have it set up, they will have to contact the person who, or anybody who has access to it. When I show you the data, it'll be really easy to tell them how many
Where they are.
total points they have.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would recommend, if you're doing a program like this and you really want to encourage people, you would recognize people every month. Oh, congratulations, so-and-so Minnie Mouse earned 50 points for the month of August, and so-and-so is leading our league with 150 points. and you could recognize and update them on their progress throughout the year in the meetings, so they wouldn't even have to ask.
Yeah, I personally did not share points with the members of how much each person had. That was just my preference. If you guys wanted to do that, obviously you could. We do have a category here called bonus board bucks, and it's spelt that way for a reason. I don't know what it is, just to be cute, I guess. But at the end of the year, so after I shut off any more points that could be entered, the president sent me a list of bonus bucks or bonus points to add to each person. So I took whatever the end of year was for each of those people and just added points. So for example, because I don't really get anything for being the technology person running Zoom at the meetings, or whenever anybody needs something from me, I just do it, right? But there wasn't really a category for me to put that in. So the president gave me, points based on my extra work for the membership. And those were added in manually. Regional conference, 50 points. If you are the chair of a committee, 100 points, which, a lot of people do that and they don't really get anything for it. So this is a great way to reward them. Okay, so this is what it looks like to the person who just submitted. I didn't put any down here, so they'll see there's 0 points on the second month right here. Now, after they've reviewed this, they can close the tab, and while this view score is still there, they can look at it. But once the view score is gone, that's it. And I guess I clicked accidentally, but there is an option to enter more points, and it just brings them back to the beginning. Now,
Question, Lisa.
yes.
Can this be printed?
You mean the form itself?
The form and when the data is entered. I'm thinking about non-tech people.
Right.
I posted already in the chat earlier the printed Word document form. So you wouldn't necessarily
okay.
need
I
to
haven't
print out
looked
this,
at it.
but
I saw that it came through. Okay.
Yeah, it collects the same information. And then if you wanted to print out the Excel spreadsheet, I'm sure Lisa will show you how to do that, because you can see the results as the
I will share the Excel spreadsheet. Give me one moment.
yes.
So what I did is we used a paper document, which was the Excel spreadsheet, before I created this form. So it's got the same categories, and the points are shown, the rewards are shown. So let me pull this up. I don't think you guys can see what I'm doing right now, but so did you share with them the click sheet on how to? Is that what you?
Yes, the click sheet is what I posted in the chat before you logged in.
Okay, so what I'm going to share is the Excel spreadsheet. I think I have it here. Hold on. Kella, if I just share it, I don't know if it will work. What do I have to do to be able to share a document from my computer?
So I would open it up on your desktop, and you would hit share screen. I'm going to hit stop screen sharing for you, and it will pull up. You could click on the document, or you could just share whatever's on your screen. So if you have the document open on your desktop, you can click on the document. Otherwise, you can click share screen. It will show whatever's on your screen.
All right. Do you guys see the spreadsheet?
Yeah, but for some reason, it's really little.
Oh, yeah.
So if you grab, Yeah, if you guys will grab you can grab the edge of the part of the screen that shows the presentation, what's being shared. You can actually grab that with your pointer and drag it and make it bigger. If you haven't done that before. All right, so this is the spreadsheet, and I just print this spreadsheet out for the members. Let me show what it looks like when it's in print form.
So if it won't open, you could click on view options at the top. If it's not getting bigger, and click on zoom ratio, fit to window, or you could make it even larger.
Okay, so when I print this out, I have it where it's formatted to fit on one page, and I put it on cardstock. But this way they can write their name at the top. It's got the months, and they just put a check mark in each column or each row for the months. It shows the points, and at the bottom, let me get to the very bottom. Well, it's not there. Hang on. At the very bottom. I know I have it in here. Well, I don't know where I put it, but at the bottom I had shown how many points it takes to get certain things. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Here it is. No? Maybe this isn't the most up to date. Anyway, I can share this. Let's see if it will let me share in the chat.
So even if you are using the Google form, it could be a good idea to provide this printed sheet to your members so that they can kind of tally off as the month goes, so they don't have to try to remember. And then when they go to enter in their clams or their reward points, they can go down the list on their sheet and check it off, and then highlight the month when they've entered it in the system so they don't accidentally enter it twice.
Okay, well, obviously I am not good at sharing in the chat. Killa, if I email this to you, can you share it in the chat?
Yes.
Because I'll do it after I get done with my presentation, because I don't know how to share this thing. My apologies. I thought I was a
Or I
guru.
can send it as a follow-up email, because everyone should have registered, so I'll have their emails.
Okay, all right, and then I can make sure I have the most current one too. Let me get rid of this. I do not have the best computer. I'm waiting for it to close this page. It doesn't want to. Come on, computer. Come on.
And Lisa,
While she's working on getting that closed, what other questions do you have so far?
I have one. Lisa, this is Rachel, as you're waiting on that to close. You may have answered this for me before, I'm not sure. So you have the tracker, they track, be if they put it on the actual form or in the Google Doc. How do you all verify that they've actually did these things?
I'm going to be honest and tell you that it's an honor system. However,
Gotcha.
I do some spot checks to see if people are duplicating information, or maybe I see something that I know those people had nothing to do with. But as the owner of the document, I can delete it.
Gotcha.
But,
okay.
The only issues that I ran into when I did spot checking was the people who just were confused and accidentally did doubles. But I went in and deleted their duplicates. But now that everybody understands it better, I'm not getting that problem anymore.
Okay, great. Thank you.
They actually contacted me and said, can you check to see if I have duplicates? So they were being honest. And I can tell by the total points who was really being honest. So let me go ahead and show you. Now that I put those in, I want to show you what it looks like on the data collection side. Don't freak out on it. I have set up a formula so that all you have to do is look at the area where I'm collecting the totals. So we go to responses. Now, remember, this is me in the Google form as the owner, and I can modify the form and everything. So go to responses. You can see responses here and look at it based on a summary. You can look at the question. So if you want to zoom in and see what kind of responses you got for a particular topic, here you can go through and see who has submitted things based on name. But I honestly, I don't ever look at that. I go straight to this thing. It says view and sheets. This is the spreadsheet version of Google.
So, oh, I was going to say before you go to that, but on that aggregate total, if you wanted to look at, that's a good way to see, okay, what activities are members doing? What activities do we need to remind people are worth 100 points for bringing in, sponsoring a new member? So you can get a summary in that way, and sometimes it will have graphs based on the content for the Google form that can be helpful.
Yeah, so if you have a member who's familiar with working with spreadsheets, what I end up doing, because the form is automatically created and sorted by timestamp. So the most recent will be together and the oldest will be together. So I go in and I do sorting. So if you have somebody that's familiar with it and they want to do some sorting and do some spot checks on duplicates, or maybe you want to sort based on a month, whatever it is. Anywho, so I have created this one with a formula. If you look at the top, it says total for all members. So for the members that have entered points, and you can see everybody's name on the left, those are all put under one name on the right. So all the ones from Minnie Mouse, all Minnie Mouse's points are right here. The ones for Superwoman, I can see she's put in 2. Her total is over here. So you're just really, like, if somebody wants to know how many points they have at the end of the year so they know what they can cash in on, so to speak, this is the number you're going to look at. This on the left is just detail if you want to really dig in. So the nice part is having a spreadsheet, you can do sorting and what I call, your own little reporting. So if you have a Google or a spreadsheet person, they'll be totally comfortable with this. So as I said, this is a formula that I set up over here on the right. So whenever all this was closed out, we took no more entries. I took this report, pasted it into an email and sent it to our finance person or our treasurer. And that's what she's using for people to cash in their points. So nobody sees all this raw data except me.
So can you tell the group, what are some of the things that the members of Charisma can cash in their points for?
That's what I was looking for on that Excel spreadsheet, because I forgot. You know what? I have one. I think I have a sheet in my bag here. Because I still carry around paper copies for our folks that don't like technology. Okay, well, I don't have it in there. I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. So for we have 2 members who were not comfortable with putting them in. So this is a copy of someone's sheet that just turned in paper and I put them in for them. But at the bottom, so for package A, you can get your 1 year chapter dues paid if you have by using 500 CLAM points. If you have 700 points, you can use that for your dinner at the monthly meeting. If you have 1,000 points, you can get a $50 gift card towards national dues or buying national merchandise. So we had quite a few people that had more than 2,000 points. So they're able to buy dinners, they get their local dues paid, they can get merchandise, they can pay towards their national dues with that gift card. So the more they do, the more that they get in return. So, and I just, when I find that Excel spreadsheet, I have it down at the, here it is. I have it down at the bottom for them. So, what was your question?
Rachel, what was your question?
Thank you. Do the points roll over to the next year? What if someone doesn't use all their points during that year?
Very good question. Actually, I need to bring that up if somebody doesn't use all their points. Now it would be easy for me to just plop into this spreadsheet and have a tab of carried over points if we wanted. And you know, I would hate to see people lose their points just because they didn't spend all of them. So
Right.
during our board meeting, I need to actually.
Awesome.
You made a good topic.
I think it's going to depend on your league, whether you decide to carry over points or not. Even if it's not that complicated, you know, we start our best practices fresh every year. Just like that, you could say, you know, your points do not carry over. We're starting the year over fresh. But it's really up to your league and how you want to shape your program. Something like the local dues, if your league is able to pay its expenses without relying on your membership dues, which hopefully you are able to do so, it shouldn't be that much of an impact for your budget if you're awarding people their local dues paid for earning CLAMS. So you can get creative with some of the things.
Well, trust me, those folks who have earned these points have more than generated the revenue for our members. I mean, for our chapter to compensate. Trust me.
Absolutely.
So, yes. So even though we're paying money out, their contributions and what they have done has raised way more money for our chapter than what we give them. So.
Yes. So for a smaller league who doesn't have a big bankroll and you're concerned about the budget areas, the return on investment, when you have engaged members, you are going to get that money back in terms of their engagement and their participation in activities. But if you want to be on the more conservative side, get a little bit more creative with some of the things that are non-cost. So if you have an event, and let's say you have a social event and it's BYOB, you could provide them a drink ticket as an example of an easy reward, or a free entry into an event that you would normally charge money for, maybe that you don't have a food cost, so that it's not necessarily impacting your finances.
Right. Yeah, there's some creativity in there on your funds versus what you can reward people. Somebody said you have 9 members total.
Yes, Natasha's group is rebuilding.
Yeah.
Okay. So all those 9 people are probably if they really want this chapter to work, they're going to work their butt off, right? So one of those might be a fundraiser, and like our purse bingo. The amount of points that were rewarded for the folks that put together the purse bingo was pennies on the dollar for what they brought in. So, oh, sorry, I hear something. I hear water. I gotta go check on it. But just keep in mind, depending on what they're doing, if they're doing fundraisers, there should be some money coming in from that. Just a thought. Let me go check on what's going on over here.
What
But I'm
other
listening.
questions do you
I'm
guys
listening.
have? Do you have some good actionable ideas that you can take back to your league and play around with?
Yes,
I'll
I
bring
do.
it up
I
to
got
our new
some.
president.
Yes.
Oh,
I see thumbs up and hearts, lots of actionable ideas. And that's the whole reason that we presented this program tonight, is to help you help your league become more engaged, have more engaged members, and build on your success that you're already having through some sort of incentive program. And as Lee said, this program started out as a paper form. You might decide that you want to do paper. You might decide that you want to roll it out as a Google form like this, and she could actually copy this form, and then you could run through and edit it on your end, facilitate getting that set up. If you decide to do a Google form, I would encourage you to present it as an educational piece. Take 5 minutes at your next league program to talk about why you want to incentivize your members, because you value their contributions and you want them to get the most out of their membership, and then show them how it works and get
here's
their buy-in.
another.
And next month you follow up and you remind people, because it's going to take a little bit of time to experiment and get people involved in the process.
So I was just quickly going to show folks, it's as easy as click on it, type, and you've changed it. You can take them off. You can add new ones. So, but I just had a thought, because like Kella's, I don't know if Kella's a good example, because you're a member of Charisma as a secondary, right? Okay. So say you have somebody that wants to come from another league and help you out with a fundraiser, let them put points in. You can get more manpower to put stuff together, and you're rewarding them for participating in your group. So that way, while you're rebuilding, you're getting help from outside chapters.
That's a great idea. So in addition to that, if you have other events or things that you're supporting, like chamber events, or in the case of the Houston leagues that are a member of FHPW, you could incorporate some of those events onto your CLAMS to help promote ABWA in those areas.
So like if you wanted to have that where you're expecting other chapters to come in and help you rebuild, under the name, we could add another part where they put their chapter name, so you know where they came from. And then you've got record of who they are. You can collect any kind of information you want so that you can keep track of those who are helping from the outside.
So if it is people outside your league that are from a different league, I would encourage you to ask for their email and their phone number so that you could follow up with them to cash in their rewards, or if they have any questions, because you're not going to have them on your roster.
Absolutely. And then you also have contact information if you're kind of hard up and you want to recruit somebody that's been willing in the past to help you with something. You've got their contact information. So,
All right,
any-
we are at the hour mark, so if there's no more questions, I want to close it out and thank Lisa for sharing her CLAMS form with everyone. I hope this was helpful, and I hope it planted some seeds for you, and that you go back to your league and implement some of the ideas that we generated today for your success. As Lisa said, if you have more questions about the process, or you want her to sit down with you to help with the form setup specifically for your league, she is willing to do that, or send you a copy of the form so that you can modify it and play around with it on your end. Thank you so much for attending. Yes, Lisa.
I'm putting my phone number and email in the chat for any of you that want it. And
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sure
please.
Kella can send that in the follow-up email as well.
Yes. This was also recorded, so if you need to go back and watch it, or if you'd like to share it with someone on your board to get their buy-in, or you're telling someone in a different league about this great program that you heard about, I will have this recording on the YouTube channel shortly for replay.